world's most expensive bike, the Trek the Dome, designed by Damien Hirst and cost $500,000. Americans use their bicycles for less than 1% of all urban trips. In Italy, 5% of all trips are on a bike, and in the Netherlands, it's 30%. If you're a woman, riding your bike for 30 minutes a day will lower your risk of breast cancer, but only if you're a woman. Cycling is the biggest sports goods business in the world, worth $15 billion and a hell of a lot of bikes. Homes close to bike paths are often more valuable. Wiggle ships 35,000 packages a week to more than 100 countries. Europe buys 60% of Taiwan's bike exports. The fastest person to ride around the world is Mike Hall of Great Britain. More than 3 times as many new bikes are sold in the US each year than cars. The health benefits of cycling outweigh the risks by a factor of 20 to 1. For more videos like this, go to www.youtube.com/GCN.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack Chapman and I am the CEO of Park Bikes and Parklife Cycling Club. Today I will be having a look at our strategic marketing plan, and down the bottom there you can see the bicycle market has an estimated 7.9% annual growth over the past 5 years and an estimated $729 million in revenue. So just before we begin, so everyone's clear what the purpose of this presentation is, by thoroughly analysing both the internal and external environment of the organisation, we have strategically forged a plan to take advantage of current and forecasted projections in the bicycle market to become the #1 cycling club in New South Wales, which is our goal, and this presentation explores that analysis. Firstly, let's look at who we are and what we do. Park Bikes is an award-winning bicycle store located in Sydney Olympic Park, which offers cycling products, servicing, repairs, fittings and coaching. Park Bikes has an expert staff of 13 experienced cyclists, many of whom have won national cycling awards. Parklife Cycling Club is a cycling community founded by Park Bikes that provides support for all cyclists, encouraging participation in cycling. So up on the screen now is a photo of our alignment model, which is basically what we want to achieve as an organisation and how we're going to do it. So the core purpose there is to provide a culture of continuous improvement to our growing membership through care, support and motivation. Our identity, what do we want to be known for, which is also our mission statement. It is to be an inclusive club that provides support for all cyclists, whether they are non-members or members of other clubs. It's also got our core values: integrity, achieving together, sociability, well-being, passion and collaboration. Our vision statement: to promote cycling as a popular recreation activity and sport throughout the general community. Our core capabilities: manage financial affairs appropriately to ensure longevity of the club. Coaching across all levels from beginner bunch rides, junior skills and race coaching, and providing support to all cyclists including nutrition advice, training camps, bike fitting and servicing. So our behaviours: how do we need to behave to support this? Constructively engaging stakeholders through authentic relationships, actively engaging in community events, collaborating with other clubs to support their existing race program, and finally we need to provide an environment which encourages support, inclusiveness and safety. So having a look at our pestle analysis. A pestle analysis is a look at the macro environment which can affect an organisation. So one political factor that is affecting the bicycle market in Australia is the physical activity guidelines. The PA guidelines suggest adults accumulate 150 to 300 minutes, which is 2 3.5 hours to 5 hours of moderate intensity physical activity, or 75 to 150 minutes, which is 1.25 hours to 2.5 hours of vigorous intensity physical activity each week. This encourages people to be active, and one way to do this is through cycling, and Parklife Community Cycling Club is a way people can achieve these guidelines. Disposable income is an economic factor affecting the bicycle market in Australia. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, disposable income is at an all-time high of $287,139 million. Customer spending is also at an all-time high with $234,141 million. With disposable income and customer spending so high, people are likely to purchase bicycles and take it up as a new hobby. Social, Australia's currently experiencing a fitness fad and is identified by the CSIRO as one of the 6 megatrends that is shaping Australia's future. The benefits of cycling are well known to the public, and it's expected that the participation rate for cycling will increase as people seek to become fit as part of this fitness fad. Technological. The world has experienced a social media revolution. Social media is now the #1 activity on the website. If Facebook were a country, it would be the world's largest country with over 1.6 billion users, and YouTube is the second largest search engine on the internet. Therefore, it makes perfect sense for companies to advertise on social media. Environmental. With global warming continuing to be a threat and coal fuel emissions being one of the main culprits, many people are looking for environmentally friendly sources of transport, such as bicycles. Legal considerations that must be taken into account are following road safety rules when conducting a Parklife event, such as speed limits and wearing helmet. Competitive analysis. Park bikes competition environment is known as a monopolistic competition, where there are a number of competitors that offer products that are similar, forcing the competitors to differentiate their products or services from others. Park Bikes offers a lifetime free tune-up if you purchase an adult bike from Park Bikes. Park Bikes has also introduced the Parklife Cycling Club, and this is what sets us apart from our competitors. Now let's move on to Porter's 5 Forces model, and the first point is competitive rivalry. The bicycle industry has a relatively high level of competition for a few reasons, one being that in the bicycle industry there is little to no switching costs for consumers. Another reason is the high number of sellers in the industry. In the US alone there are over 100 bicycle producers. Because of this large number of producers, there is a high degree of competition. Second point, bargaining power of buyers. In the bicycle industry, buyers have a moderate bargaining power as the bicycle is not a necessity. If the current cost of bicycle is too high, the customer will find a substitute or wait until the prices become more reasonable. Also, as mentioned before, consumers have low switching costs to other brands, which allows them to find some form of leverage over the producers. Threat of substitutes. Threat of substitutes is quite high. There are many recreational activities that could replace cycling for less cost, such as jogging, rollerblading, and skating. Bargaining power of suppliers. Most bicycle manufacturers purchase suppliers rather than manufacturing it themselves, and as it is more cost effective. However, if prices increase too much, then the manufacturers will begin to manufacture the entire bike themselves. And fifth point, threat of new entrants. The likelihood of new entrants in the bicycle industry is relatively low because, as mentioned before, there is already a high level of competition and many consumers have a strong brand preference in the industry. So now on the screen we have our SWOT analysis. Our strengths: we have good reputation, strong customer relationship, wide selection of goods, excellent staff who are well trained cycling enthusiasts. Weaknesses: drivers and pedestrians get annoyed with cyclists. There's low interest in cycling compared to other sports. It's also hard to predict what goods will sell. Opportunities: expansion. The ability to spread fixed costs over a large area as sales increase, increasing profit margin. Promotion of cycling as a sport and recreation. Threats: bike market going into decline, which is unlikely. Economy, if it were to tank, and substitution for other recreation activities, which we outlined before, could be quite high. So now having a look at the critical issues that have arisen from our SWOT analysis. So maintaining our good reputation and customer relationship by having staff turnover at minimum. Promoting cycling as a sport and recreation through Parklife CC. Changing society's perspective on cyclists by practicing safe road cycling during Parklife CC events, and creating a family-friendly club image by having participants of all ages and backgrounds. The marketing objectives for Parklife CC: we want to increase our members to 3,000 by 2018, reach 5,000 likes on Facebook by 2017, and increase our events from 20 per year to 30 per year in 2017. Now looking at our target market. So for Parklife CC, our target market is married middle class Sydney based males aged 35 to 40. So based on the recent National Cycling Participation Survey results, we chose a male because men are more likely to participate in cycling than women. The age was decided on the fact that 10 to 17 and 30 to 49 were the most popular age groups for cycling participation, and the former are often swept away from cycling for other recreational events. The target consumer is Sydney based because that's where the store is located and where most of the Parklife CC events are held. Married status was chosen as males in the 35 to 40 age bracket are married, and also it gives a chance for them to get their wife and kids involved in cycling, as well as creating our family image. And middle class was chosen because cycling is not a necessity and can be quite expensive for some bikes and parts, so the aim is to target those who have disposable income for cycling. So now looking at our marketing mix strategy, also known as our 7 P's of marketing. Number 1, price. Parklife CC is a free of charge community club to provide support for cyclists and promote cycling as a sport and recreation. Parklife CC hosts events throughout the year. The free of charge comes from the idea that more people would join if it's free, and increasing our numbers is our main objective, or one of our main objectives. And also the idea is that people will spend more money in the shop for park bikes. Product: providing a support network and social cycling community for all riders. This appeals to the target market as it is a safe and fun way to spend time with the family. Place: Parklife CC is a cycling community in Sydney Olympic Park that hosts cycling events throughout the year. Promotion: Parklife CC uses promotion through social media such as Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Promotion is also done through the bike store and radio advertisements. People: the staff at Park Bikes are experienced cyclists, many of whom have won prestigious cycling awards. One critical issue was to keep staff turnover to a minimum. The knowledgeable staff can assist riders who are having issues with their bike and cycling products, or just need some advice. Process: so events for Parklife CC are created by the staff at Park Bikes. The event is then suggested to the existing members of Parklife CC, and a date is confirmed. It is then posted to our website and Facebook page to remind members and to inform non-members who would be interested in joining. The event takes place, and after the event, an evaluation is made to determine the success of the event and any improvements to be made for the next event. Lastly, physical evidence: Park Bikes uniform is predominantly black and with Park highlighted green and Bikes highlighted white to allow the brand name to stand out. Now looking at budget for expenditures. Parklife is not for profit, however it is anticipated that members will use Park Bikes for tuning services, bike parts, clothing, etc. As Parklife CC becomes more popular, the less money will needed to be spent on advertising, as there is a current trend of online advertising and the takeover of technology. It is expected that more money will need to be spent on social media postings. As you can see, 2016 it's $300 compared to 2018 $900, whereas the radio advertising and flyers decrease in value. Now looking at the income for the budgets, as you can see there's a steady increase as the years go on. This would be due to the increase in popularity of Parklife CC and cycling in general, and then people needing to spend more money on upkeeping their bikes. Implementation. Monthly reports and meetings will take place to make sure we are on target in terms of membership, events, budgets, etc. Kim Simpson is the media manager, and she's in charge of the social media postings, the radio advertising, and flyer creation and distribution. Chris French is events coordinator, and he's in charge of setting and running the events in the Parklife CC. He's also responsible for receiving feedback from members. Richard Arnold is the finance manager, and it is his responsibility that we are operating under the budget and generating income. So in conclusion, it can be seen that the bicycle market is currently healthy and is projected to increase. Therefore, by creating a community cycling club that differentiates us from our competitors by effectively implementing this business marketing plan, it will allow us to become the #1 bike shop and cycling club in New South Wales. Thank you for listening to this presentation.